Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and I hope you had a great holiday and Happy New Year's. My name is Bob, and today's video is a bit different from what I usually do on my channel. If you're new to the channel, I do gameplay videos, and I've been focusing on one game specifically for the beginning here of my YouTube channel. This video is about my very hard decision of leaving the community contributor program for the game that I love, the game that I've been playing for 6 years, and the game that I eventually started making content for. This isn't just a video about me leaving this program, it's also about me as a veteran player, you know, a guy who's paid many dollars in virtual items. Why would I lose all this invested time and money? What makes these types of players leave? That's what I want to discuss in this video and my reasonings behind it. I've been a PC gamer my whole life, guys. I've played DayZ, Arma 2 and 3, Battlefield, COD, World of Warcraft, you name it, all those games, and I always saw myself as somebody who only played PC. But then my life situation changed. I had to move away, so I couldn't lug my big ass PC around, my big old wooden toaster, because trust me, it wasn't good. So I had to reluctantly check out the mobile gaming market on my phone. I have never really done that. You know, I played Flappy Bird and, you know, Fruit Ninja and those types of games, but not really checked out what other sorts of games there were. I stumbled upon a mobile game that really shifted my perspective. I didn't expect to do this. I had no intention of becoming a mobile gamer. And I know that sounds like I'm trying to bash people who play mobile games. It was just not natural for me. But this game was different, man. It had fun mechanics, good tactics, the community was fun, the game itself was something new to me. I had not tried this type of gameplay before. So I got completely enthralled in this game. I immersed myself, tried to grind, spent money, and found myself just completely loving it and not seeing myself stop forever. Many of you could probably recognize this feeling of finding the game, you know, the one, the only, the one you think you're going to be playing forever. And some of you probably do, but yeah, most of the time that's a fairy tale, we all know. Over time, I transitioned from playing the game to contributing by doing content. I launched my YouTube channel, something I've been dreaming of doing forever, and eventually saw myself getting more and more subscribers in this little niche community that I'd found. It was a tiny niche community, but a tight one, very tight one, and that's what kept me going, right? Gaming communities can be both beautiful and toxic. I mean, look at League of Legends. Not the most kind place, I would say. But anyways, I wanted to help improve the game because I saw some really bad flaws, but I was optimistic and I believed that the game developers would want to rectify these mistakes and these flaws. So I was very patient and decided that these YouTube videos I would make could probably help, you know, highlight some of these issues. And that's how I found myself in this community contributor program, where I was given access to things that would previously be locked behind a paywall, and I would be getting early access to items along with a direct line of communication to the game community managers and developers. It was an awesome deal. I felt so proud. I was so happy because this elevated my ability to make content, and it elevated the ability of me to talk about the game and the issues that I had with it. So I was very optimistic, hoping for the future that, you know, now I'm a CC, I can do everything. I made videos criticizing the game on all aspects. I went pretty hard on my critique and tried to make it as fair as well, give solutions to the problems I had and many players in the community had. But they all went on deaf ears. I also tried to praise them when they did something good, and that isn't, you know, a way to say, hey, you know, we're not hating on you. There's this tendency in gaming to hate on developers and call them idiots and witch hunt them, which is completely wrong because they're people as well, right? So I tried to show that at least by also praising what they did good. Now the reason I left is over a lot of things, but the nail in the coffin, so to say, was when I got news of something they were going to do to the game that I couldn't tell about. It was under NDA and they were not intending to tell the community officially what was going to be changing. I had to leave. I had to get out. This game had gambling crates. It did not have a store where you could buy things outright, and it pissed me off because gambling in video games where minors can play is just outdated, man. You know, even Call of Duty, a game that had tons of crates, the community lashed out and they changed it to a normal store. I always use this comparison because Call of Duty was a game I played. It started introducing crates, and after that, people got so mad, you pay a full price for a game and you get crates. Well, this is a free game I'm talking about here, the game that I was a CC for. It's a free game, I understand they need monetization, but if you look at other free games, they don't need crates. This decision is also part of a larger story. One about why the games we love the most tend to lose their spark, and why people stray away from them to find other games. Over the years, I've noticed certain patterns that lead to this phenomenon, and especially in the stuff I've played, and especially in free-to-play titles. For me, it often comes down to repetition, for example. This is dangerous, and in my case, it really was one of the things that the game I loved suffered from, repetition over the years. The developers couldn't find new stuff to do, so what do? They started introducing new stuff that I called them copy-paste things, that were pretty much just recycled old stuff that you could now pay a full price for, and it was basically altered in a tiny way, and now you can, buy that. Recycled crap. Nobody wants that. It's boring, it's stale, and that's a really dangerous thing in a game. Player frustration, whether it's unbalanced mechanics, bugs, glitches. In my case, it was bots that were completely overpowered, that were saturating the games, unfair mechanics, bugs, glitches, you name it, the whole 9 yards, and just an overall outdated game. No innovation, no new introductions of mechanics, basically only fidelity changes that were very, very, very welcomed, but it was just ultimately not enough. And the final thing is disconnection. When the developers don't communicate and there's, they listen, they say, oh yeah, we've taken your feedback and blah, 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 but they never do anything. This is so dangerous to the game. The lack of communication from developers is what killed it off for me and some of my fellow CCs. Just the absolute frustration where you try to give them feedback. I know a guy who spent ages putting together a document and presenting it, but it's probably also fallen on deaf ears. That's the type of stuff that kills a game in the player's eyes. Because when the game developers start slacking and treating it as a milk cow, a money cow, the players notice and they search for other things where you could feel the spark in the developers behind the game. This isn't about blaming anyone, and I feel no ill will or grudge against any of the people I've encountered, but it's about what keeps a game alive, and that's constant innovation and enthusiasm from the people behind it. You can feel that as a player and as a consumer of the product. You can feel that love was put behind this, energy was put behind this, and thought. It's not just about new features and content drops. It's about seeing a future for said game and an idea that this will keep going. I like to look at a game like War Thunder. War Thunder is very old now, and it constantly keeps going and going and going. It's a vehicle combat game where they started in World War I and World War II, and now they're up to the modern age. So the players could see a future for the game, right? But in a case like War Thunder, you can't just expect that because you have a ton of content to drop in the future, you could keep it going for a while, drip feed it, go and go and go. More content here and there. You still need to have that excitement, and that is why I think War Thunder is succeeding. I don't play the game. I have never played War Thunder. I've only seen it on YouTube, and the constant ads and sponsors for it, maybe that helps a little too. But what I'm trying to say is you can feel that the developers are excited about this. And once the game suffers from repetition, player frustration, and the disconnect from the developers, your game is on a very, very slippery slope to becoming stale. I don't think games die off very easily, but we've seen how communities can completely dry out, and that is, honestly a sad thing to see. What this all comes down to, in 90% of cases where people leave a game, is greed. It's straight up greed from the people behind the game, not necessarily the developers or the community managers or whatever, whoever. It's because of the greed. That is why people leave, and that's why I left. It is greedy practices, malpractice, and sly business tactics that keep people away from a game and searching elsewhere. I found myself playing other games, and specifically one, I noticed a pattern that I didn't see in the game I usually played. They had a store. where there was sometimes 50% off on everything. As I'm making this video right now, there is a complete 50% off of the whole shop. I had never seen that in the game I loved and played for years, and it's something I've always wanted and advocated for. I sincerely think that if you have a store, you would make more money than instead of gambling crate. And that brings up a whole other discussion of whether should you buy them or not. I still think either way that it's the developers or the people that made a decision to put crates in that made a wrong decision. Having a store where people can buy stuff equally and fairly and not maybe get the thing, maybe have a 1% chance to get said item, I think that's the right way. So when I noticed these trends, that's when it dawned on me that the reason this game that I love wouldn't survive, in my eyes, or at least why I wouldn't play it, is because of greed. I can't stand the greed of the people behind it, and the way it signals to me how they've already given up. I know I haven't talked about the game specifically, and there's a reason for that. This is a very niche community. I mean, we're talking about warships. Not that many people, even if you think about World War II and military history in general, not that many people focus on warships, which is fine. But that's why I wanted more people to hear this story. And if I just focused on Blitz, you know, in the thumbnail and title, it wouldn't reach a broader audience, because I think this is a bigger problem in gaming in general, especially in mobile games. We've kind of seen a change in the console and PC AAA titles, but it is definitely still a problem, and especially here on the mobile gaming platforms. I mentioned Call of Duty because it rectified its mistake. I mean, you could talk about how it's doing now, but people had continued to buy the games even after they introduced the crates, and when they removed them, their sales increased. So my whole argument is crates are just a stupid thing, right? The game in question is a mobile version of World of Warships. It's called World of Warships Blitz, and it is something that I have loved playing for the past 6 years. It's what started my channel. I have fallen in love with making content. The community I've grown on here in the live streams and the comments is what I'm most thankful of when I think about this game, World of Warships Blitz. So thank you to you guys. I want to talk about the failures of Blitz, and I already made a video about it, but I'm going to briefly mention them here. It's the lack of innovation, the monetization, and the lack of bug fixes. For example, bots. Let's use that as an example, right? Blitz has not fixed the core issues of the game, and that, in my opinion, is the bots. We could talk about monetization and how Wargaming want to make their money. That's a whole other thing. But if the game isn't functioning correctly 6 years after its full release, you cannot have such toxic and aggressive monetization, like crates, for example. I think the bots and the glitches and the constant pushing of premium ships is what eventually killed it for me. I did not think I was gonna burn out on Blitz so fast. A year ago, I was thinking some things. I was like, okay, they're not really fixing the game, and I'm continuously pumping out content about new ships. That's literally all they do. And I'm gonna get to that. Was I a part of the problem? Because I've really been thinking about that. To me, or at least in my opinion, it became more and more evident that Wargaming were just trying to milk money from players. I saw that and heard from some of the CCs on World of Tanks that this is currently what was happening to their game, or at least some of them felt like that. Constantly pumping up premiums and not innovating or fixing stuff. So over the past year, I've just started getting this sour taste in my mouth and feeling like Wargaming didn't really take this game as serious as we did. And some of the other CCs have talked about maybe we took this too serious. At least I did. I definitely am guilty of taking this game and maybe a little bit too serious. Now I want to state my part. I have to be realistic and honest. I have probably been a part of the problem as well, because every video I made is basically free promotion, and that's kind of the transaction that goes on between CCs and Wargaming. We get access to premium stuff that we then make videos on, which is kind of free promotion, and I have definitely promoted for Wargaming, which I kind of regret now. I had my reasons, and one of the reasons was I wanted to showcase people what these ships do, so if you face them in battle, you kind of know what to do. My other reason was this is going to help grow the game, and that's also one of the reasons why I left. I could not support this anymore because the game was clearly not taking all the money that people were spending and using it on something good, in my opinion. So yes, I have definitely been a part of the issue, and that's also why I'm leaving now, because I don't agree with them. Now I want to state something before ending the video. It's kind of running too long now. To the CCs who still are in the program, you guys are awesome. Keep up the amazing work. I know what you guys are doing now in light of the new things, and I think it's pretty admirable and respectable. To the devs and community managers, you tried your best, man. I know it's not your decisions. I hope you guys don't get hate, and please do not give any of the devs or CMs, community managers, or the other CCs for that matter, any hate, because in the end we're not making the decisions. And yeah, as a final note, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported me. The future of this channel is looking good. I'm gonna be playing different games. You know, I play Enlisted. I love this game, and I try to make the videos fun for you guys. So even if you don't play it, you can still follow along. I want to play Sea Power, Naval Combat in the Missile Age, and many other games that kind of align with what I like to do on this channel. So hopefully you stick along for the ride. And I hope that Blitz figures out what it's gonna do. In the meantime, I'm gonna be taking a break and focusing on other things where I can feel the spark. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you had a great New Year's. My name is Boblyn, aka Pabloon, and I am signing out.